Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Bible FIFA on FIFA 21. I'm actually going to start off with an icon pack because I figured that our lone Ronaldo only had one game left on his contract, so we needed a more permanent icon for the team, and I was fairly pleased to have packed a Baggio. He looks like he's got a goal in him, and a reminder that if we score with him I can read from anything from the Old Testament with him in relation to the goal time. I also had to replace a Jesus Corona because I accidentally subbed him into an SBC. But here's a reminder of the team. And here's what we played against with a Balassi and Zaha sort of Palace throwback duo there with the 5-star skills. And it was the man Zaha that scored to put him 1-0 up after just a few minutes. I did, however, equalise with that man again, Marcus Rashford, rounding the keeper and rebonnering it into the back of the net. However, just after half-time, at 47th minute, the guy lagged out. So for a 1-1 game, I thought that's not really enough for the episode. So I played another. A red Benjamin Mendy and a solid Prem team was kind of telling me that I knew he wasn't going to be an easy pushover, and Werner proved that within the first 10 minutes. He then went 2-0 up in the 36th minute of that Rafinha volley. However, I threaded through Gabriel Jesus to then round the keeper and cross it back to Marcus Rashford for a 73rd minute goal. And then literally we're into 1 minute of added time. I win the ball on halfway, roll it into Rashford to the man Baggio off the bench, back into Rashford for a last second equaliser for 2-2. That was the final result. Now let's head in to the Bible passage.
Okay, so for the Bible passage we had a couple of options what we could look at. We're going to go with the goal that I scored with Marcus Rashford in the 73rd minute and turn to Mark chapter 7 verse 3, which says, "For the Pharisees and all the Jews do not eat unless they wash their hands properly, holding to the tradition of the elders." Now, at first hearing that might not make any sense whatsoever, but to bring some context, the Pharisees were religious teachers of the law, and the Jews were also religious followers of God, and they were very good at following the laws and the commandments and the instructions for how to live that were set out kind of in the Old Testament. But Jesus came, and he goes on later in this passage to say that actually he cares most about people's hearts and how their hearts are engaged with God, rather than having to earn your way to favour with God by trying to do all of these tick box exercises. And Jesus ultimately went on to die on the cross to forgive anyone from their sins, for those that put their trust in him. You know, it says in the Bible, we've all done things wrong, we all mess up, and actually no one can earn their way to God. And he came to break a touch of the legalism that had crept in with the Pharisees and the Jews, to say that, you can't earn your way to God, we all need grace, and Jesus' grace, which he so, graciously had poured out on the cross by going on to die for the world. And actually, there are still instructions and advices for how to live that Jesus gives in the Bible. The 10 Commandments are still very valid as well, such as do not murder, do not steal. They're there for a reason. They're there to help us. It's not going to help anyone if people murder, if people steal. But having a day of rest, if you work a full week and you're knackered, you're going to need a day off to recuperate. The instructions and the advices for how to live in the Bible are there to help people. They're not there to confine us. And I think there's misconceptions about Christianity, that it's a very rule-based tick box exercise. You have to do all these things. You have to pray at certain times. Actually, Christianity is more relational, and that's what Jesus said, where he said he's more interested in people's hearts. I'm so grateful as a Christian I can come to God at the end of a difficult day and say, God, to be honest, I've had a really tough one today. Please, can you help me to have a better one tomorrow? Or please, can you help me with this friendship situation I'm struggling with? Or I'm struggling with my sleep. Please, can you help me with that? Christianity is a lot more relational. And the times we do inevitably mess up, I can come to God and say, look, sorry, God, I messed up again. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for forgiving me. Rather than having to legalistically feel like I have to follow everything in order to be made right with God. And later in the chapter, Jesus goes on to heal a man who was mute and deaf. So a man that couldn't hear, a man that couldn't speak. And, throughout the Bible, Jesus went on healing people, and that's another part of the relational aspect. God wants to help you in day-to-day life. If you put your trust in him, he can bring healing, miraculous healings. If there's areas in your life you need healing, I've been in church services where hundreds of people have been miraculously healed from things by God, and they've been able to hold up their medical reports to the room to show that the doctors have no way of explaining how they were healed, other than they put it down to a medical miracle. Or sort of an unexplainable healing, which, I can only put down to God having done it. And there's many, many examples all around the world where people are miraculously healed from things today. Jesus, throughout the Bible, did it. His disciples went on to do it. And today, if you pray for someone, they can be miraculously healed. And that's the, Christianity, I find, is a faith that has helped me tremendously with how God helps me in life, with how He is a God that actively heals people today. And I just want to encourage you, if you're not a Christian and you've maybe just been put off by church, feeling it's all very rule based and rigid, actually it can be so freeing to be a Christian. There's a God out there that loves you. He died for you. He wants to help you in day-to-day life. He wants to meet you in your need, and I guess free you from perhaps some of the confusions about Christianity that you think might be the case. So yeah, if you have any questions about it or want to chat to me about this further, feel free to comment in the comments. But yeah, for now, I hope this has been encouraging and helpful. And yeah, I'll speak again on the next one.